There are many women in history that leave a mark on us gay people. Joan's icy stare, Marilyn's wiggle, Liza's lisp, and the tender purr of Eartha Kitt.
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love.
Eartha Kitt's career is an astonishing one. She performed many years in Europe and emerged from the ranks of budding young singers with campy renditions of songs like Si Esteban and Love for Sale.
Like something that's sick, that's level. I wanna go to the devil, I wanna be evil. I wanna spit tax, I wanna be evil and cheat at jacks.
Eartha Kitt was born in a former slave's cabin in 1927. However, she did not learn her true age or birth year until the early 2000s. She never knew her father, and the only details she knew of him was that he was a white man. She was abandoned by her mother as a young girl. Her mother chose another man over her who didn't want a mixed-race child in his house. Her new caretakers abused her, and she was given an escape by her church, who feared for her safety, which took her all the way to Harlem.
Yeah. And your mother actually passed you on to somebody else?
Yes, she gave me away to a family that eventually wound up using me as a work mule. And my mother gave me to this family because the man that she wanted to marry said, I don't want that yellow gal in my house. Which meant that being an illegitimate child and also the wrong color. You are not wanted by the blacks, and the whites couldn't care less. So this black family, who had 2 teenage children, used me as whatever they could use me as a working person. And then I was also by the young gentleman in that family.
Are you?
As she grew up, she won a full scholarship for dance and threw herself into her studies. She traveled through France and Europe and studied rigorously to lose her southern accent and developed her signature speaking style. She stood out from the crowd for her unique looks and signature way of talking. However, her uniqueness was her downfall, for she would lose roles because executives would find her too weird.
Üsküdar is the name of a little town in Turkey. And in Üsküdar they have very many strange ways. Along with these strange ways go very many strange saints. And one of them is Benismr Fustukule Karavai Saraida. It means I like to feed my lover bird's milk.
Not to mention, Eartha downright refused to be typecast as servants or maids. She broke into film alongside Nat King Cole in St. Louis Blues. She was magic alongside Nat, who she had a thrilling affair with.
Love, oh careless love.
From there, she stole focus in New Faces of 1952, in which she performed her biggest pop hit, the holiday tune, Santa Baby, one of the many unique song choices Eartha Kitt was known for in her career.
Santa honey, forgot to mention one little thing, a ring. I don't mean on the phone, Santa honey, and hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry. Tonight.
From the late 1950s to the early 1960s, Eartha Kitt worked steadily as a television and theater actress. She was also a celebrated nightclub performer and broke new ground in Las Vegas, where she, alongside Sammy Davis Jr., fought back against segregation laws. She was known to picket outside of clubs she was booked in. As an entertainer of color, she was expected to enter from the back of the building through the kitchen, despite her name being on the marquee. And from there began her lifelong fight for civil rights. Her next big break came in 1968, when Julie Newmar decided to hang up her catsuit. And soon we were greeted with by far the most iconic Catwoman ever. Eartha was a smash on the television show and was by far the most perfect replacement for Catwoman. But also in 1968, Eartha Kitt faced probably the biggest hurdle in her career. During a ladies' luncheon held by First Lady Lady Bird Johnson, Eartha Kitt was asked by Lady Bird herself her opinions on the Vietnam War. Eartha answered the question honestly, and it did not sit well with Miss Johnson. The children of America are not rebelling for no reason. They are not hippies for no reason at all. We don't have what we have on Sunset Boulevard for no reason. They're a rebellion against something. There are so many things burning the people in this country, particularly mothers. They feel as if they are going to raise sons, and I know what it's like, and you have children of your own, Miss Johnson. We raise children and send them to war. You send the best of this country off to be shot and maimed. No wonder the kids rebel and take pot. Her remarks caused Lady Bird to burst out in tears, and this led to a public blacklisting of Eartha Kitt.
What could you do? How could you respond? What did you do?
You don't respond. You say absolutely nothing. You laugh it off and go to Europe. Where I was more popular anyway at that particular time, or at least I was just as popular.
President Johnson even went so far to have her investigated by the CIA. Publicly ostracized the United States, Eartha devoted her energies now to performing in Europe and Asia. She made a prominent return to recording and theater work.
I'm here. It is here in scroll that in Africa, from the Niger to the Nile, the gods of old were goddesses, and women had wit and wisdom, as well as style.
And we queens never forgot her. She began a whole new take on her music, recording killer disco tracks. Great dance pop hits like I Love Men and Where Is My Man. And come the 1990s, Eartha's career was fully revived in the United States. She was a beloved television personality, appearing on shows like The Nanny and Living Single, not to mention her iconic film roles like the legendary cougar Lady Eloise in Boomerang.
But I'm really qualified.
You shouldn't have to blow your own horn. You should leave that for someone else to do.
Or the delightfully evil Yzma in Disney's The Emperor's New Groove and Emperor's New School, a role which won her an Emmy Award. Eartha was a celebrated personality whose career was fully revived in the United States and abroad. However, she was sadly taken away from us far too soon after a long battle with cancer. She died on Christmas Day in 2008. Eartha Kitt was a true legend, a woman of color that built a career for herself that transcended race. She invited everyone to enjoy the fruits of knowledge she had to bear. A diva of absolute grandiose and camp that was never a joke. The true definition of the word survivor. Not to mention she was an avid supporter of LGBT rights up until her death. We thank you, Eartha, and you have truly earned your place in her history.